Welcome everybody. Today we got an easy training session. We're recovering from the indieVelo Grand Tour last week, and we'll see how it goes. I'll pull up on screen here in just a second the TrainerRoad plan. So here it is. We got Totten Key. We got Totten Key today. It's one of 3 recovery rides this week. No intensity. Oh, excuse me. There's no intensity this week. And so let's just take a look at what we're doing. So 45 minutes, easy zone 2, only about 50% of our FTP, and we're just putting some time into the legs. Probably going to be working on some technique, pedal drills, that kind of thing, but nothing too crazy. It should be pretty straightforward. Yeah, so we'll just jump right in. I actually have to do it. Oh, can't really see that. I have to do it on my phone. So I'm gonna pull it up here on my phone. We're gonna work on that. But in the meantime, we'll have no problem doing it up from the phone. That's fine. Alright, so good day. TrainerRoad here. So I'm also thinking we might as well do some minor heat adaptations. We're coming into the winter months here. Well, fall months. So it should be getting a little cooler. But what the heck, we'll do some fanless riding here, just to see if we can get some adaptations that way too. Alright, so let's go here. We're gonna have to potentially make some edits here to the equipment pairing. Alright, yeah, that's good. So in order to run TrainerRoad and indieVelo at the same time, it's beyond simple. You just need to set indieVelo to be power meter instead of smart trainer up here. And by doing that, excuse me, right here. And by doing that, indieVelo will know what power you're putting out, but TrainerRoad will be what's defining the power to your trainer. So as long as you can connect to either device, the problem with my laptop currently is that the trainer only connects to one Bluetooth source. So right now I'm connecting the trainer to my phone via Bluetooth for TrainerRoad, and then connecting to indieVelo on my laptop by Bluetooth as well. But for some reason this laptop doesn't want me to connect to 2 things at once like the Apple laptop did. So I bought an Ant Plus adapter, so hopefully that will fix it. And then we can get commands on screen instead of the commands being on my phone, which would be kind of nice. Alright, so let's load workout here. Alright. We're hopping right into it. Keep your spin easy. Settle into 45 minutes of riding. So it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but it's a pretty flat training plan today. We do a little step up, only a few percent of FTP. We go down for a little bit and then kind of back up. There's 2 little segments. It should be really easy. It's basically flat. You can see I'm going up here at a 12% grade. But what's nice is that because indieVelo is not the one defining my erg workout, at 12%, I don't feel it. Well, I guess if it's an erg workout in indieVelo, you wouldn't feel it either, but TrainerRoad is the one that's defining my power in this free ride. indieVelo is not in erg mode, yet it still is acting like it because it's not set to the trainer, it's set to the power meter, which is really nice because TrainerRoad doesn't really play nicely with any other apps. So the fact that indieVelo is able to use TrainerRoad together is really nice. It makes no difference other than, you know, I can look at something other than blue boxes. If you guys follow me on Strava, you'll know that I did one of these rides a couple days ago, and I was just watching Hulu, Welcome to Wrexham TV show. I'm a pretty avid soccer fan, so that's what I was doing. All right. So it should get pretty toasty in here. Maybe I'll reach forward here and grab my thermometer or whatever this is called. So we're starting at, ooh, that does not work. We're starting at 75 degrees. Just put it here next to me. I'll give you statuses throughout just to see what we're gonna be dealing with. We got no fans. Got the hat on. Got a full shirt on. And we're trying out this new location where my face is. I think the shorts are hilarious. I crack myself up every time I make them. And having myself off to the left-hand side of the screen made it a little bit more challenging to do a vertical. So if this isn't annoying, I think we're gonna try this. I might move it around here every once in a while, like put myself more centered here. That's gonna drive me insane. Let's see. A little bit more. There we go. Maybe that's better, maybe that's not. I don't know. Maybe I don't want my head on the wheel. Maybe I'll move myself over here. But yeah, I think that's better. If anything, I like the right side of the screen better than I like the middle. Got the information like distance to go and current place and stuff like that, so the right hand of the screen is more important than the left hand of the screen. Alright. So we're still working out some kinks. I still want to find a better playlist for Spotify. Right now, the playlist is horrible, so I apologize. I'm thinking maybe now that I simplified the stream here, you can see that I don't have this stuff down here at the bottom anymore. So now that I freed that up, maybe I could put the song name right here. Maybe that'll help me when I watch back the videos. I can see which songs I like and which songs I don't like, or you guys can let me know too, and maybe we can build a custom playlist of half decent free songs. We'll see. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on bike packing. Man, I want to go bike packing so badly. the idea of having nothing to do all day except for enjoy the bike and nature sounds really nice. Not have to deal with phones and things like that, just simple navigation. Eat some good carby foods, some pizza. Ride bike with my wife. Sounds incredible. I used to do a lot of backpacking when I was younger. My dad used to take me out backpacking all the time, and I loved backpacking, and I had to stop when I picked up a wrestling injury in high school. It starting to hurt my back too much. But fortunately, we've gotten over that injury through things like this. Getting active again, eating healthier, living a just generally healthier lifestyle has completely fixed my back when the doctors said that I would never be healed. So it's amazing what changing your lifestyle can do for your health, even when doctors say it's impossible. Not that everything can be solved, but certainly a lot of things can. Yeah, if I was to go bikepacking, I wouldn't mind camping, but I think it would be definitely more enjoyable to go from hotel to hotel, be able to clean off and sleep well. In backpacking, we used to have a saying, it's a fine and pleasant misery, which is true, but sometimes it's fine and pleasant not to be miserable too. So you can be miserable on the bike and recover nicely in a shower, in a bed. I think that's what I think. Stop at restaurants, cafes, instead of having to pack food. A few days, 3 to 5 days, I think would be perfect. But before we could do that, we would need to get my wife into cycling. And we would need to buy her a bike, buy all the gear. So it ain't happening anytime soon. We would need to work on some fitness. Right now I'm only race fit for 45 minutes. I'm not endurance fit for 7 hours a day. Much as I'd like to be. So we're just hanging out today. Nothing on the agenda for this bike ride other than pedal and hang out. Again, this is a recovery ride. We're just getting the legs spinning. Keep turning over the pedals. And we're gonna try to do a little bit of heat adaptation. See how that goes. Hopefully everybody had a good week. The work went well, school went well. Whatever it is that you guys do, hopefully it all went swimmingly. let me know if you guys watch this. Are you tuning in because you're a cyclist? Are you tuning in because you're an indoor cyclist? Or what brings you here? Curious to know what it is that you guys like. When did you guys, if you are cyclists, when did you start cycling? I just started cycling a year ago, just a little bit over a year ago, and absolutely loved it. It's definitely an expensive sport to get into, but it's really worth it. I always say that cycling or working out, paying for some stuff, it's really cheap insurance. A hospital bill for heart surgery, or whatever ailments occur from lack of fitness and things of that nature. Staying in shape is the cheap option, even if you have to buy a bunch of stuff. But I always call it cheap insurance. Like with everything, obviously riding a bike isn't going to guarantee you health, but it's all about swinging the odds in your favor. That's how I think of it. It's important to take care of your health, even though it doesn't guarantee issues will be avoided in the future. I started my fitness journey, well, my health journey, a couple years ago. Probably a year after COVID started. I picked up, the health and wellness space. I was having some really bad IBS issues. I didn't want to have that anymore. And again, just like my back, the doctors said, it's all in your mind. Just totally being gaslit by internalists, my gut doctors. They told me to just drink some Metamucil and get over it, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So my wife and I started a journey of eating healthier, cutting out processed foods for the most part, cooking our own foods, trying to get more variety in our diets, more vegetables, more plants. We're still big meat eaters. Every meal basically has a good protein source in it. I find, one, I like it, and two, I buy ethically and responsibly sourced meats through Butcher Box and things like that. But ever since then, my gut health has completely changed. I have no symptoms of IBS anymore, except for when I overtrain, then I get some symptoms back. But on your day-to-day, it feels so much better. It's been completely game-changing. I went from 170 pounds, not trying to watch my weight, but not stuffing my face with food all the time before the diet change. And then, diet change. It's not a diet, it's just changing my food intake, per se. But then when I just decided I can eat anything I want and however much I want, as long as it's homemade, that changed everything. I was eating and stuffing my face because it was so delicious, frankly. And I lost like 30 pounds. I went from like 170 down to about 145 without trying at all. I even had to swap out my wedding ring because I lost so much weight that my wedding ring didn't fit anymore. It was too big, which is crazy. since then, started weight training and things like that, eating more protein. So I have put on weight, so I was able to fit back into my wedding ring, but stronger now, a lot healthier now. I started working out and doing exercising actually because I got a Whoop band. I was interested in tracking my HRV and resting heart rate and those kinds of key metrics. Well, metrics, whether they're key or not is up to you. And once I started doing that, I got really invested in trying to get some exercise in there to put up my strain score on Whoop. So I started doing some light jogging using the MAF technique, max aerobic function, which is basically heart rate training, where you jog and you keep your heart rate below a certain threshold, which is derived by a couple different formulas, but generally speaking it's, you know, the 180 minus your age or whatever the formula is, I don't remember anymore. But doing that MAF running, or zone 2 running essentially, just taught me that running could be actually really enjoyable. I always thought running, anytime I ran, it was sprint until your legs fall off or your heart explodes, and that's just not fun. But jogging, taking in the scenery, you know, just having a good time listening to music or a podcast, that's actually a lot of fun. So I started doing my exercise through the MAF running, and then I started watching some YouTube videos on cycling. So I wanted to get better at soccer. I'm a soccer player, was a soccer player, so I quit because I hated running. And then I've always been a huge soccer fan, so I got back into it, playing some men's league, and I wanted to be more physically fit for running, so that's kind of when I started running. Then I was looking into cross training, just because my knees were tired. I have really bad running form. I've been reading a really great book on running form. I can't remember the name of it currently, but I'm sure I'll talk about it in the future. Humans were designed to run. Shoes and things like that have made it painful to run. In bad running form, it's promoted bad running form, which is why people get injured. It's kind of a blanket statement for a nuanced topic and issue, but generally speaking, that's kind of how it goes. So I was looking into cross training, and from there I found Mark Lewis on YouTube doing this thing called Zwift, which just looked like so much fun. So I got my old childhood bike, my mountain bike. That was way too small for me. I bought this trainer, decided what the heck, let's try it out, and the rest is history. It was so much fun. I did Zwift for a few months, did their training plans, FTP builder. What I like about cycling is, historically, I'm really bad at pushing through physical challenges. When things got difficult physically, I used to just, you know, unless it was absolutely necessary, I used to just give up. It wasn't worth the effort. In wrestling, I hated wrestling, but, you know, I'll take the time out on the sidelines as many times as I could. And I'm not necessarily proud of that, which is why I've enjoyed cycling. It's, you know, forced me to kind of dive into the pain cave and get a little tougher physically and not back down, which I've really enjoyed and has helped me definitely in other areas of life. thoroughly enjoyed cycling. After a few months on that small bike, I decided to get a real road bike, which was pretty fun because as soon as I got these drop handlebars, my sprint power went up by like 200 watts just because I was able to get better leverage, kind of pull up on the handlebars a little bit better. So that was pretty fun. Got a bike fit from a reputable local bike fitter, not just a bike shop bike fitter, but this guy's only job. He's only a bike fitter. So, and he's not affiliated with a bike shop necessarily, so the only thing he's really trying to sell you on, since he doesn't make money on those sales, is his custom insole. He does make money on those, and he does try to sell you on those, but the saddle and handlebars and whatever else, he doesn't make money off those. So he's just there to help you, which is really quite critical, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, from a bike fitter's perspective. All right, so you can see we just did this really low zone 2 part of the ride, and we dipped back down into an easy zone 1. Oh, I guess technically it's a hard zone 1. It's right at the threshold of zone 1. And so we're still going. Curious to hear your guys' stories of cycling or your health journeys. I think it's important to get other people's perspectives and ideas on what health looks like. I generally subscribe to the Peter Attia, Andrew Huberman, those kinds of folk, that it's about well-rounded, holistic health rather than push medicine, pills, that kind of things. I think there's obviously always a time and place for modern medicine, but that it shouldn't be the default, and we should look to alternative medicines and prevention rather than just dealing with the acute issues. So that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm on the bike. Preventative. And it's fun. So it's not really heating up in this room. It's only 76 now. But without these fans, very, very hot. Gotta remember to keep drinking water. Let me know what you guys think about this general setup of the screen. You guys like where my head is currently? Honestly, I kind of like it. And then right above the map on the far right side, I don't really want to touch my computer with my sweaty hands, but just above the green section on the gradient map is where the chat will go. You guys have probably seen that in previous streams. That hasn't changed. Then we got the review camera up top. At some point, if and when we get donations and things like that, if that ever was to occur, that's gonna pop up right below the wattage. It's 118 right in that window. Hopefully that'll pop up there. On the far left side, the reason we have the green border is so that we can throw in the Discord. So if I'm ever on Discord with some friends, you'll be able to hear them and be able to see who's talking. So that's what that space is for. think it also just kind of helps clean up the rest of the stream, not having to have the subscriber and total stuff overlaid over the game itself. It's not necessary information, but I think it's kind of fun to have you guys play along and get your name up on the screen if you subscribe, and you know, see what our goals at and things like that. I think it's kind of fun. I enjoy it when I watch other people's streams, so let me know what you guys think. So my FTP, oh, actually, dry off my hands here. Let's see if I can pull it up. You can see that my FTP currently set at 236 based on the TrainerRoad AI FTP detection algorithm. See, my weight's about 160 for watts per kg of 3.24, excuse me. So when I first started a year ago, my FTP, I think it was around 150, and my watts per kilogram was around 1.8, I think. So a solid DCAT when I was riding in Zwift. And I got into C before I left Zwift, and it's kind of a middle to back end C rider by the time I left Zwift. And I came into indieVelo, and I raced once, and it was a horrible experience, if I'm honest. I accidentally chose a human only race, and there was no humans, so it was an individual time trial with no competition. And so from that point forward, I didn't race for maybe 2 or 3 months because I just didn't understand what to do, which is why I'm glad we have people like Rob on the streams and other people on the streams talking about indieVelo a little bit more, myself included, so that people can come onto the platform and kind of know what to do. So also, indieVelo has grown substantially since I joined. So there's not as many individual time trials as much, which is great. So that's my FTP. We're gonna work on it. We can take a look at the calendar, I guess. Something to do. So right now we're on Friday. You can see that I did a couple strength training workouts on Wednesday. Got strength training again on Sunday. So I usually do a Sunday, Wednesday strength training protocol. And that's because my rest days are on Mondays and Thursdays. So I want to have strength training the day before rest. I think that's definitely good for me personally. Hey, what's up, Holden? And then tomorrow I have another hour and 15-minute easy ride just to keep the legs turning over and to not lose the endurance fitness. And then that concludes this segment of training, the bike run strength training. And then we're gonna go into a undefined general base training. We don't have a race scheduled for any time soon. I'm hoping indieVelo will come out with a new race that piques my interest and fits into the time that I have available. And then we'll start training for that in particular, like we did with the Grand Tour. But for now, we're gonna go into a general base fitness to work on just endurance and things like that, kind of like it's an off season. So that'll go on for many weeks, and we're just gonna let TrainerRoad tell us what to do, I'm gonna sit down and do it. And then looks like I gotta rearrange the schedule a little bit. We're still gonna do the 2 weeks, about 2 days a week strength. We're following MAPS Anabolic and MAPS Six Pack, that's what they're called, from the Mind Pump crew, from Mind Pump Media. Group of really good trainers. We're following those plans. And then hopefully we'll bring back some running. I stopped running because I was feeling so fatigued from the runs. I was trying some new techniques and they wound up being worse than just regular running. And I think I've learned since that running with less vertical oscillation is not a good thing. So we're gonna try to run a little bit bouncier and use the elasticity of the human body to kind of help store some energy and propel me forward, rather than throwing all that energy just into the joints. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna pick up the cadence. We're gonna not worry about vertical oscillation. At some point we're gonna get a little bit more minimalist shoes. I got really chunky running shoes like everybody else with a big heel toe drop, which is just not foot healthy. So at some point when the shoes expire, I'll swap them over for something a little bit more minimalist. We're gonna bring back running. That'll probably be once a week if I had to guess. I really don't want it to take away from cycling because that's my preferred sport, but my wife really loves running, so I'd like to do that with her. And it's fun to do some friend events running, so I'd like to bring that back. I'm sure there will be another running adventure with some friends here in the future, so I'd like to be prepared for that. We did a 10-mile 16K race in a local loop near the beach a few months ago, and my wife and I were training, if you will, for it against a bunch of college athletes, soccer players, track stars, things like that. So they had a really easy time on this run, 10 miles, jogging at an 8:30 pace, and I was struggling at a 9:30 pace. My wife was kind enough to continue running with me, but she had to definitely slow down for me. She was sprinting ahead and waiting, sprinting ahead and waiting. She wasn't tired at all. My favorite fitness YouTubist, thank you, after me, does a lot of strength training that requires a significant range of motion. And the only cardio he does is with a sled, beside his sport of choice, which is basketball. Yeah, for sure. You're talking about knees over toes guy, I'm assuming. Lots of range of motion. Strength training has a habit of reducing range of motion if you aren't, focusing on it. So that's something I'm definitely trying to improve, range of motion in my strength training exercises through isometric holding, through stretching, things like that. Definitely important. I'm only here for longevity and health reasons primarily. So if we're not focusing on the key important parts of overall health, then we're kind of doing something wrong. So strength is important, cardio is important, but so too is mobility. If you can't move, it doesn't matter. So we're definitely focusing on that. However, that definitely is a weak point of my triad. I definitely stretch most nights, but that's different than what you're talking about. What you're talking about is more important than just your regular static nightly stretching. If you have a good program or something like that for mobility, let me know. Thanks for joining, by the way. Happy to have you here. It's much more fun cycling with somebody rather than talking to myself / future watchers. I have 2 things behind me. Fortunately, I cannot reach them from the bike. But every event that I participate in that I think takes training or pushes my limits or is some sort of big event in some way, I want to commemorate that event with a token, a little commemorative thing. And so my dad is a great grandpa, and he decided that he wanted to get into 3D printing because a friend of his is really into 3D printing. And so I was able to make exactly that, a commemorative token of the events, which is pretty fun. So the 10-mile race that we did running, I made a cool little token for that. I made one for every of the finishers of the race. And then last week the indieVelo Grand Tour concluded, and I gifted myself a token that I made. And I also shared the file, the print file, with my team and everybody else that finished the race. So I have 2 tokens so far, which will increase in the future. We're collecting them slowly but surely. And I'll show you, hopefully, if I remember after the stream, if the whatever this is called, the automatic green screen thing doesn't block it out. I'll post them on Strava. Well, I guess they've already been posted on Strava, so if you follow me, links in the description or in my profile, you can see those tokens. They're pretty fun. Whew, it's hot. We're almost at 77 degrees in here, but still no fan. This shirt is multicolored by default, but definitely darker than it was when we started. Let's go back to indieVelo. What are we doing? We're still looking at this calendar. Oh, my mouse pad's not working with all this water. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. 1 second. It's impossible. There we go. Man, that was difficult. So Holden, what do you think about the new stream layout? You like the simplified bottom portion and face location? I'm thinking the face location will help with the shorts and the vertical profile. Let me know what you think. No worries. I was just talking about how you were right with your mobility statement. And I just realized that the chat is not popping up on screen. So we'll have to fix that in the next stream. When I close out of the streaming service, things go a little bit haywire, and some things work and some things don't work, so. Hey, Phoebe's riding. And she got married, apparently. Mr. Rosales. Or whoever Rosales is. Alright, we must be coming close to the end of this ride here. It's hot, and it's only a 45-minute ride. So we're at 46 minutes, so it's probably coming to a close here soon. We'll be back tomorrow on the bike, but I'm probably not going to stream it. At some point, I think in the future, I'll probably just wind up streaming most things, just because it makes it a little more interesting for me myself and gives you some more content, if you will. Looks stunning. Thank you. Yes, yes. Totally irrelevant to the look stunning, but this hat used to be so floppy, but after last week's series of races, I think it's one of the stiffest hats I own, which is pretty hilarious. We're gonna try to get this hat as stiff as we possibly can, and we're gonna post it on Strava. It's gonna be a badge of honor. See how salty we can make it. That's the goal. Oh, I wish there was Tour de France emulation. There's not. Those courses in the Tour de France are not here on the platform. Oh, hey, look, you can see the velodrome on the right. That's pretty cool. It's not here on the platform. It's not on most platforms. I think Ruby, the other platform which is not racing, it's strictly, as far as I'm aware, strictly solo rides, group rides, and it's recordings of actual routes in the world. And now that I say that, I don't think they have Tour de France, but they do have the Volta di España and maybe the Giro d'Italia. Yeah, they're two big cycling races in the calendar. So you could definitely ride the Vuelta, all of the stages, which is really cool. But this, the closest they do to emulation is like what we just did, the indieVelo Grand Tour, which is you're putting the shoes of the riders and you're the one racing a multi-stage race. This platform doesn't have any realistic real-world rides, however, which is fine. That doesn't bother me. Though it would be cool. I would like to do that at some point. My wife and I just went to Nice, France, and the Tour de France started a few days after we left, which is actually really good timing because it wasn't super crowded like it was during the Tour de France, but everything was still set up for the Tour de France, which is pretty cool because obviously I like cycling. So Nice was incredible. Next time I go, hopefully my wife will be into cycling, and then we'll go on some epic bike rides in the south of France. It's absolutely gorgeous. Bunch of incredible mountain roads, coastline mountain roads, just outside the city. Some great bike shops. So, yeah, I'm hoping to go back to Nice in the nearish future and go on some really cool bike rides. Shout out to Leonard, a recent subscriber. He's the man. If you subscribe, maybe your name will get put down there if you're the last one. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, enjoy, Holden. Thanks for joining. You can see we're definitely ramping down into the close here. We got 93 watts and 100 cadence. You could definitely feel the trainer struggling to produce less than 1 watt. We're gonna lower our cadence here. It's kind of rising without trying. Hello, Kaya. It'll be good to see you soon. Hi, Kaya. Enjoy your walk. All right. This is definitely a nice, enjoyable ride. Time flew by. You're welcome. Have a good day, Holden. Whew. I definitely forgot to bring my sweat rag. I might have a towel, but I failed to bring it this time, and I am regretting that decision for sure. We got a group of cyclists coming up behind us. There they go. Like I said, I'll be back on the bike tomorrow for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I don't expect to be streaming it, but there will be another stream next week. So if you haven't already, if you think you've enjoyed this or you have enjoyed this, consider subscribing. It would be a lot of fun for me to have you here. Your name might be put up on screen, and you just be let know when I go live. So definitely consider subscribing, and we'll be back on stream next week at some point. Next week again starts the new phase of training, which is base training. Gonna be putting miles under feet, not too much intensity, I don't think. We're gonna throw in some strength workouts, and we're gonna throw in some running. Obviously I won't be streaming those other two, so if you would like to follow what I'm doing, there's a link to Strava on my page. Consider following me on Strava, and you can stay up to date with all of my activities: strength training, running, yoga, that kind of stuff. So let's see. I'm not sure that there's anything else. We just peaked the climb. I think we'll call that good. Thanks for joining, everybody, and I will catch you next time.